And if you just see me every day, at least this is an opportunity to say I'm Sam, first off. Stryker, cranial plates, the universal fixation. Our sternal plates are the new thing, and then you probably see or get sick of seeing me bring in loaners for all the facial trauma, the facial procedures that we do here. So first off, today I know a lot of in-services are because of maybe there's some sort of issue or something you need to go over. That's not at all. I don't have an issue. I couldn't be happier. I love being here. I love working with you guys, and today is nothing more than a thank you for allowing me to be a part of the team. So most importantly, there is some lunch in the break room. And again, that's just me. Thank you.
Now you see if you can take a lesson from him.
I never had a problem
I
with
got
it.
no problem.
So back to you about what you said about us.
I mean, but for the sake of making this official, and so Ashley can say we did an in-service. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I come in here, you guys see me all the time. Even when I don't have cases, I think a lot of the reason why, knock on wood, I get asked by surgeons to be here, to be their vendors, because we do the little things behind the scenes. We don't get all the credit and all the glory like they do upstairs, but I'm nothing more than an extension of you guys. I make sure the stuff's here, and then I count on you guys to make sure that it's ready for the surgery. For the cranies and the sternal stuff, the staff does not need it. It's a very easy product. I'll show it to you real quick. You already know it. The facial stuff, I'm in. I'm there. They want us there. I'm very involved with that stuff. But, you know, really, I'm just a team member of you guys. So, again, thank you. I appreciate being here. Even on days that I don't have cases, one of the things that my surgeons know I'm doing is making sure, even if it's, I try to make a lap, just make sure stuff's where, you never know. I don't get notified all the time when these cases happen, so I don't expect someone to call me and think about me when a case happens, so I just come through. Is the stuff on the shelf? Is it ready to go? And then that way, if I get a call, which I oftentimes do the night before, hey, we've got a case tomorrow, I'm not calling you all going, oh my God, you need to get this tray ready, because I already came through here earlier today and I know it's on the shelf, right? So, again, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I got no problems. I'm just happy that you guys allowed me to come through your world a little bit now and again. So, for the sake of the trays, consigned-wise, you guys have all seen the universal fixations. It's plates and screws. This is really quickly, so you guys know anytime they do a surgery on the brain, they have to take the bone off. That's all this is when they put that bone back on after they've done amazing stuff. They use plates and screws to put it on there. These have been reliable for a very long time. They're low profile. These are just implants. So inside of here, the plates and screws, we have a par level that seems to be working. We haven't been running out of things. And my job is when they get used to come in and then put those back to that par level. So I know how many plates of each should be in there. The screw caddies are obviously just full.
Those little screws are
These
so
are
small.
a lot of fun to put in. I'm proud to say that I'm getting pretty good at it.
Yeah, the worst one is when you see it come through and it's not on the set and everything's like open and you're like, oh my God.
So, and I will tell you too, a lot of time we get a lot of casualties, and it's not your all's fault, but if being proactive, obviously if this disc is open, you're gonna lose those screws in the wash. So it's always a good practice to make sure that those are shut. And I will tell you the biggest culprit is just this lid and the way it goes in. Yeah, so seating the back of that and making sure that that's clicked down, because otherwise it's just a disaster. It happens, I get it, it's not a perfect system, but as far as, question?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was
okay, all right. So really, there's not much here as far as in service or anything to go over. If anyone has questions, let me know. But making sure that these are shut, this lid's on, they should be good. I'm filling them, checking screwdrivers that they're working. Most of the time they're doing the manual. I do have a lot of surgeons that are loving this. By the time you're done doing a brain surgery, the zip-in screws at the end with the power driver is what they prefer. It's nice. So each set has one of these. Now, this is something I was going to ask you all. I know this is getting hand washed.
Yep.
And then I'm always fine. It's never, every once in a while I got to look a little bit, but it's always over there.
You're all right about doing
I'm
that,
okay
right?
with that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
But it can go through the washer too, can
this can go through the wash, yes.
it? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want
I mean, we can keep it all together and put it through the wash.
I would.
Okay.
I would keep it simple. These are designed, everything in here, that's why there's holes in this deal, so that stuff can go through the wash.
Okay.
That's up, if you feel more comfortable, if
Yeah.
you feel more comfortable hand washing, that's fine, as long as I can find it
That
somewhere
keeps
in
you
there.
from coming in here looking for them when it's
Yeah.
laying around
Yeah.
somewhere after they've been hand washed and not close vicinity of the other tray.
It's up to you guys. Either way, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna fill the tray. If it's already in there, wonderful. If you hand wash it, I find it, I put it in. Each tray, there are 2 of these trays, each one has 1 of these.
Okay.
So again, as far as cleaning these, I have not, knock on wood, I've never had a call. I don't want to jinx it. No one's ever called me and said, this tray is dirty, because you guys do a great job. But, screwdrivers, the screwdriver blades, just making sure of those. And then underneath we have some instruments, just real quick. This is nothing more for them to conveniently get the plates out. They never bend plates, but I always check these, make sure that they're, occasionally they'll need to bend something, cut something sometimes, and then we have a mesh bender. We do have some mesh trays.
Big mesh.
Big mesh. Yeah, we don't need to pop that. Everyone knows big mesh.
Yeah.
That's what this is for like bending it and putting a dome, like a curve in it.
And then if they do use, like
Yeah.
the formed mesh that's already over there.
Yep.
So even if they use a small little section, we have to replace the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if it ever comes down and it's not complete dome, we have to replace it, even if it's just a small section.
So if
So if
something
anybody gets that, let me know, so
Mhm.
then we gotta get another one ordered.
Okay.
Yeah. So, unless you have any questions with this, the only thing I would say is, I would see what we do at downtown. What we do, which is, you guys know I live downtown.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see eventually, I think would make most sense, because oftentimes I don't have in my truck everything we need.
Watch yourself, Sam. He's going to go through the
Yeah.
elevator.
It's just to maybe get a little bit of a backstock here, so that it's always here. Because I'm having to bring this in from my vehicle. So maybe that's a conversation for Jen, Mary. I think there's enough. We're doing 2, 3 of these a week, and then, I might not always have that piece of mesh or whatever. So if we had just a little bit here, maybe in a little tackle box, I think that might be a great idea. And that might be a conversation with you
I got a
eventually.
bag coming.
On doing that, but
Okay.
having just a little bit of a backstock was something even back when like Oliver, we had talked, made a lot of sense, and it's what we do everywhere else. I love coming in here, filling the tray. It's an excuse for me to make sure that I'm checking on stuff too, so I can help out. But having some product here on hand would ensure that we're always covered. I know 2 or 3 times, doesn't happen often, but 2 or 3 times, one will be down, I don't know about it. 2 cases pop on, we're one tray in a tray that's not complete, because I'm not finding out about it.
Yeah.
If we had some product here, we could, in that situation, make sure that it gets filled and then, process it. But that's something maybe you and I can talk about eventually, at some point this year. So, other than that, any questions with the neurofixation?
Is there ever a situation where you don't get a chance to get here to reset it and they will need it for a case?
Yeah, so I was saying, it doesn't happen often, like 2 or 3 times already. I mean, in the first quarter, I guess.
What do you suggest we do? I mean,
Well, the good news is, usually, there are enough plates in here to handle more than one
All right.
case.
Okay.
Right?
And screws.
And screws. There's plenty of screws. I would say though, what does happen oftentimes is the doctor's suite will use the same 4 or 5 plates every time.
Okay.
And that one plate will get, and she might get ticked off at me if maybe she does. So again, if we could get to a point where maybe we had a little bit of a backstock, that way if we were like, oh, turn this over, you guys could maybe, grab those plates, throw them in, we know the par levels.
So just basically like your hot items, which is kind of like.
You're right. So like if we were to do a backstop, I would suggest like let's do the hot items first.
Yes.
Just have more of those versus just a couple of these.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense. And
Because that happens with the Synthes, you'll get the same size frag, so the same size screws and same size plates are always missing.
yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
it's
So the fill only look the same.
sizes.
I am, and if we did that too, the other thing that would be convenient for the people upstairs and what we do downtown is every time there's a case, I do a bill only based on what's missing from the tray. Whereas if we had a little bit of a backstock, I could just place a backstock order just once a week. Just like, hey, here's what we need. And I'd have par levels of those. That might be a lot simpler, less paperwork. Just the trays get filled as needed out of that backstock.
Correct.
And then when I think like we need to order some backstock, we just place it. Or it might not even have to be weekly, you know what I mean? So it could cut down a lot of stuff. But
And I know sometimes, like, if you're here, you already have the stuff, you're just gonna replace it as it comes down anyways.
Yes,
So-
yeah, right. If I come in, I have it, I can replace it, but
Yeah.
the problem is when maybe I don't have what's
Correct.
missing, or
You're
I don't get
downtown, but
notified.
they're using
And I
it,
don't
you're
get
that
notified.
there
Yeah,
to come back.
exactly.
Okay.
So, and of course, like always, if anybody, text me, call me, hey, Neuro Fixation trays down, whatever, let Sam know. I will be here that day. Thank you, good call.
Cool, Sam.
Alright, so that seat's there, that's down, that's the most important thing. These just chill on top.
And then the scissors is just any type of mayo.
Yeah, straight Mayo. They used to be Stryker ones. I'm not like searching the loft or
Okay.
if they get swapped out with something else. But there are small pieces of mesh in here that
Yeah,
you get
and
off
that will cut.
and this will cut. So
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So then, in the cardiac world, they typically, since the beginning of time, wire the chest back together. So the same thing. I'm closure. So when they go into a heart surgery, they crack a chest. They split that open. They have come to find out that a lot of issues stem from only wires. So some light bulb went off one day. Someone said, "Why don't we just put some plates? We do with everything else and all the other bones." So we came out with sternal plates. I will tell you that Stryker ourselves was a little late to this game. Biomet was first. You guys have some Biomet trays here. And we came out with a set. And then we, over the past 12 months, introduced this to Dr. Pelletier and the whole crew downtown. And I'm proud to say that they want to partner with Stryker.
Oh, good.
So, with that being said, there's a whole process of tax and legal and making sure that everything's kosher. For now, I've been doing it. I've been working with Mary and Jen and everybody. I'm just checking these in as loaners. So I apologize if it seems like I'm doing that all the time. But they're using it here. They're just not consigned. We can't consign them until like legal and everybody goes through it. So, for the sake of just the product, these are what we're moving towards. These are the baskets that come in the rigid containers. And these, I wanted to ask you guys, as far as when I show up with the box and this, leave it all over there, including the box.
Yeah.
Are you guys sending the box to the wash?
Yeah.
Might as well. That's fine. Okay, cool. So what I've been doing, if it helps, is been putting a tag on the box
Yeah.
and the tray,
Yeah.
so you can kind of sync those up. Cool.
Yeah, we try to put markers in there too.
Yeah,
We
that's
have like the
perfect.
little colored plates. So we put a blue plate in there and a
Yeah.
blue plate in there, and then when it comes on the other side, we match it up.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
What
I
about
love it.
those drills? Can those go through the washer
So
too?
this is proof that these are the same thing.
Same thing.
These go through the wash.
Yep.
Downtown, these never come out. They just stay right in here. There's 2 per. We got our blades, and we have some different instruments here. As far as putting stuff together, the drills, they're popping batteries on that they have upstairs.
Yeah.
If you ever see a battery in here, just
It's
pitch
disposable.
it. Just pitch it. It doesn't need to go to the wash or anything like that. As far as putting stuff together, I mean, we just have some screwdrivers in here. These are the handles. These pop in, all right, and then that retracts for the. And then to take those apart, there's a little button right here that releases that.
Okay.
So it's just pretty straightforward. If I didn't tell you that, you guys probably would figure that out. But that's those.
It would have been in like 4 pieces on this.
Yeah. I will tell you, a lot of times people, because the screws are really small, in the neuro world, mostly by hand. Dr. Hodges, though, I don't know if you know her, she's not sinking screws by hand. She's putting them with the power driver. In the cardiac world, these screws are big, so they are only using these.
Yeah.
They'll maybe hand tighten at the end. So if any of these come down together, just know that there's a little button. Other than that, it's all instrumentation, forceps, benders, stuff like that. Everything has a home. Everything has a home in there.
Yeah.
And then eventually when we can sign it, it'll be even more straightforward because we'll have the count sheet, right? What I've been doing, just for the sake of, for the plates and screws, this caddy here, I've just been sitting it on top. And I will tell you, strategy-wise, they hardly ever need any of this stuff. But I set these on top, the power drivers, I know they're gonna need it. There's a measuring rake in here. They're gonna measure before they do anything. So I like to set them up to have everything on top that they're gonna do. And then I just sit this guy on top.
Okay.
It's not ideal, but it cuts down on size. And then inside, we just have a full screw caddy. And then I have 4 of each plate to keep it simple on the inside. You guys do a great job. You'll see there's an indicator down there as well. Pretty straightforward stuff. Okay. Again, with these, we'll get them signed eventually. I'll work with Mary and you all to do that. These are ones that I am physically, I hope you guys don't mind, but Carolyn and the team upstairs, they keep one in room 10 in the room, the others in their own little core back there. So I've just been physically taking them. If anyone thinks of it and does it, that's fine. If I don't see it down here, that's the first place I check. So they like to have one in the room, one there, and then eventually we'll just consign it to those locations.
Because she asked to assign it a location, I said until it's consigned, I can't. I said, but if you let everybody know where they're at, then we can at least find them if we have to.
Yeah.
So she said she wanted one in 10 and then one in their storage.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So then that way.
Again, that's giving me some purpose. Again, if you see me in here and I don't have a case or whatever, I'm not just lingering around or getting in the way. I'm just making sure that those are where they are, because I don't expect any of you guys to just remember that I tell you this. Until it's consigned, you wouldn't know where it lives, so I'll just carry it up there.
Yeah.
And then I make sure they have what they need.
And that's what I told her. I said, if you stick it in the same spot, then when it does get consigned, it's going to be so much easier because we already know. So do it like it is consigned. I said, but just so you know, we can't guarantee.
Yeah, and I'm
so
not
she
gonna...
was fine with that, and it's just like you said.
Yeah.
It comes in, comes out, comes in, comes out. So that repetition is helping people.
Yeah, and a lot of times, again, I'm not being notified until after the case.
Oh,
so if you guys happen to see it again, I'll make sure you have, I'll give some cards or some stickers. If anybody ever wants to text me and say, hey, the tray's down, are you gonna come in today? Because you guys are wanting to wrap, you guys are always on it, getting trays done. Hey, Sam, I got this one down. You want to come fill it first?
Okay.
I hate to pop a tray that needs. That's like my least favorite thing to do is pop a tray that's been wrapped. Because y'all are on it, but I haven't had a chance to get in there. So just let me know. And then so any questions with the sternal stuff? It's pretty straightforward, right? Leave the Verispeeds in the trays, send them to the wash, keep everything together. We'll be fine. Last but not least, the mandible tray, mandible fixation. I'm sure you've seen hybrid MMF and upper mid phase. Those are my 3 bread and butter for facial traumas. Occasionally I'll bring in an orthognathic tray for when they do orthognathic cases, obviously. We're going to keep those just loaners for now. I talked to Mary that it might make sense, maybe especially when we move. I know that we're moving all this stuff, maybe it makes sense then, because the volume seems to be really picking up. I told her, between Dr. Schneider, Dr. Tomzik, Dr. Qureshi, there's a pretty steady flow. So I quite often check those in. I like to have them close to here instead of being tied up in another hospital. But there's nothing worse than getting a trauma call and having to come in late night or early morning and saying, hey, I need this by this time tomorrow. So hopefully, I hope you all agree that I haven't asked for one tray, I don't think, maybe once this quarter. Only when necessary. I don't abuse that. I understand that sucks. I don't ever want to do it, but I try to get stuff here as soon as I find out. And then I pick my stuff up as soon as I need it. It blows my mind. I was talking to Mary, like how much stuff is back there. I don't know if people don't need their stuff elsewhere, but
they're using us as storage.
If my stuff's not here, it's being used somewhere else. Again, knock on wood, we've been earning the business all over town, and we'll continue to do so. So, unless you guys have questions for me, that's just a quick rundown. Again, there's been no issue. Keep doing what you're doing. Love you guys. Appreciate everything you're doing. If there's anything I can do better, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you. There's some lunch. Enjoy. Hope you had a great holiday. And I'll leave my contact information with Ashley. If anybody, you see a tray or you need something, whatever, shoot a text, call me. I'm 24/7, 365 on this job. So, cool?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.